And now the original message. What are you waiting for? Is there a specific experience you want first? Are you waiting for something in your world to change first? Are you still convinced that God you is found in knowledge and concepts in this world? Are you still limiting yourself to this world? Who is it that's waiting? Because what you truly are promises you that it's always here, and it's waiting for you to make the choice to give your life away to it, to become one with it again. Is it that you don't trust what you truly are yet? Do you think you don't have enough information? Is your faith in it weak? It's okay if it is, but aren't you tired of trying to figure all of this out on your own? Aren't you tired of suffering and worrying? Aren't you tired of being afraid? I think we are all tired of being a person also, and if you are, well, know that you don't have to be, but it takes faith to give it all up to the universe. Now, faith is not the same as believing. You don't have to believe that God is present. God is presence itself. God is here and now, no matter what. God has never left you. Your attention left God. In other words, you are already and always present as presence itself. No matter what, you never left being yourself. Your attention is just addicted to the ego and this world. You're not focusing on yourself. Begin to develop an unbreakable sense of faith. Feel it. You can call it having faith in God or having faith in the universe. It's okay to place what we call God higher than the ego, because it is higher than the ego. The ego doesn't even exist, so don't limit the universe to it. So if you aren't experiencing the intimate relationship with God or the universe as being one with it, if you aren't able to feel what Jesus meant when he said, I and the Father are one, go ahead and see God consciousness, what you truly are, as something bigger than the ego, and make your journey to begin to merge back into it, to become one with it. Now this is paradoxical because you are already one with it, and there is no true journey to get back. But don't sit there and keep telling yourself you're one with it while you're not experiencing it. That doesn't work. You can't fake it. Bring the ego into God, meaning bring who you think you are into presence and allow it to dissolve in God's presence, which is always here and now. This is what it means to give your life away to God, because the one who claims to have a life is the ego, and the process of giving your life away isn't a mental decision, it's an experience. Consciousness feels and melts back into itself. You don't have a life, you are life itself. So give away the illusion that you do. And of course, that's scary for the ego. But this is why faith is so powerful. Have faith in knowing that you are above fear. You are above sensations. You are above this world and everything it appears to offer you. Once you develop the trust and faith to do so, you'll start to realize what you truly are. You'll begin to experience and relate with Jesus when he realized that we are one with God. There is no such thing as separation. There has never been separation, meaning it's never happened. You have never left yourself. You have been in heaven this whole time. You just forgot. But the doors for you to direct attention back home is always available. Home, heaven, isn't found in this world because this world is illusionary. Heaven is found within yourself. It's a deep, intimate connection that allows heaven to feel like it's everywhere regardless of where you are physically. It's a complete different dimension. It's not here on earth. It's not necessarily a place that has location, but you can place consciousness in heaven by directing your attention while experiencing earth. This is what it means to bring heaven on earth. You don't have to be here on earth. You can have a solid foundation in heaven, which is just keeping consciousness focused on itself. And of course, the body you are experiencing will still be here. And of course, you can interact with the world and live an amazing, adventurous life. It's just that your consciousness won't be so sucked into this world. It will be in heaven instead. That's where freedom is. That's where unconditional love is. That's where everything you ever wanted is. It's in yourself. And it can truly feel like you aren't here because you really aren't. You're not the body, and nobody is, but you lose the illusion of here and there and over there. Trying to find where you are drops away. You'll simply experience a very still presence that doesn't move. Even if the body is moving, you'll sense that you aren't. You'll be that still space that's allowing things to appear to move within it. For example, when you are driving, the car is moving, and if you feel into it deeply enough, you'll notice that you aren't. The car and the body are moving, but you aren't. How is this possible, you may ask? Because you are not the body. The body is within you. This whole world is within you. This is why you can always say, I'm here, regardless of what location the body is at. You are always in heaven. It's just that your attention is away from it. You think you have to focus on whatever you're focusing on so that things can stay together. But that's not true. You actually promised yourself that things will be even greater if you put yourself first. If you have faith in the universe, you as the universe promised yourself that everything will be more than okay. It's just that your faith in yourself isn't strong enough yet to fully surrender to that truth. You see, you have faith, you always do. But it's about where your faith is. Is it in the mind's lies? Is it in your problems, your worries, the world? Where are you placing faith into? If you are on this journey to self-realization, all of it should be directed to the universe or God or life, whatever you want to call it. Because once again, you have made promises to yourself. You promised to take away suffering. You promised eternal life. You promised protection, safety, and peace. These promises are what you promised yourself. So why not have faith in your promises? Other beings have experienced your promises and have been trying to point you back to yourself. Do you realize what I'm saying? There have been beings here that have surrendered and have experienced, not believed, but experienced what you truly are, and some decided to become teachers of your word to walk others back home. There are many promises that you have promised yourself if you gave your life up to it, aka surrendering the ego, but it takes faith and trust to begin to realize and experience those promises. So how many times do you have to hear that you will be free from suffering and turmoil if you give your life to the universe, which is what you truly desire anyways? even if you aren't aware of it. We state that all the time. We say, I just want to feel like myself again. I just want to be me again. All you want out of life is to be what you truly are. You don't want to hold up being a person anymore. We literally do things in life to forget about being who we think we are. We have many escapes to get away from ourselves, but all you have to truly realize is that you never were who you thought you were to begin with, and that realization brings freedom from being who you think you are. You desire to be free from yourself. You don't want to be the suffering person, the seeking person, the person with a terrible past, the person with anxiety. And you already promised to yourself that you don't have to be. So do you have to suffer more? Maybe you haven't had enough yet. Maybe there's something you're refusing to look at and learn. It's different for everyone, but there will come a time when you are done, when you're finally done trying to get something from this world that doesn't truly exist. And that's one of the most powerful realizations, because you'll start to realize you're the source for everything you want. Love, acceptance, validation, strength, confidence, peace, fearlessness, freedom. You'll turn to yourself for it instead of looking for the world to give you it. When you're done trying to do this on your own, the ego will surrender. When you realize worrying and complaining doesn't work, when you realize trying to control others and the outcome of things doesn't work, maybe you'll finally let go. Sometimes we have to exhaust the ego out before we decide to trust and surrender. But you can surrender now. Every time you begin to worry, surrender it to the universe. Don't think about giving it up. See if you can gently experience giving it away. Give it away and gently bring your attention back to what's present. If it come back, repeat the same process and don't give it away because you think it's wrong. Nothing is wrong, it just doesn't work. When you get caught in the storm of thoughts, in the midst of it, take your faith out of it and place it into the universe. If the storm continues, allow it to. There is a story in the Bible that talks about this in a metaphorical way. Realize that this story you created is another way you are reminding yourself of how powerful you truly are. If you just have faith. Jesus was in a boat with his disciples trying to get across the other side of a lake. They were journeying across, and suddenly a windstorm came. The disciples were terrified. They were yelling to Jesus that they were going to drown and die. Jesus eventually stood up and calmed the waters, but then he asked the disciples, "Why are you afraid? Why are you so worried about the storm? Where is your faith?" Is your faith in the storm of those thoughts and emotions and stories, or is it solid and unshakable with the God within yourself? Is your faith in the concepts, words, and knowledge, or is it with what I'm pointing to? You are literally being held by God as you listen to this. God's closer, and the next breath. Remember, God is everlasting presence, meaning it's here and now. Before you look for it, it's already here. Melt into God and become one with it again. It's safe. You don't need to worry. You don't need to figure anything out. You don't have to seek for yourself. You're already here. I recommend everyone to strengthen their faith and trust in what you truly are. You can practice strengthening faith in many ways. You can even read the Bible, but be careful. Don't view the God it's talking about as something separate from you. Know that it's a book about you. Look into the promises you made to yourself and have faith in your word. Listen to your favorite teacher talk about the nature of what you are. Whoever is speaking from heaven, whoever is realized, see if you can feel into what they are saying. Don't listen with the mind. Listen with the body. Listen with your whole being. I'd even recommend listening to what Jesus was saying if you're able to realize what he's truly pointing to. That has been very powerful for me when it comes to strengthening faith. So begin to melt the ego. Be willing to give its life away completely. Melt into that spacious presence. And once you notice this space, become it, be it. Let go of the observer of it and become one with it, because you and the Father are one.